good evening to all of you. Welcome to the fifth workshop under the workshop series of Jumpstart 2021. So today's workshop will be on digital marketing, yet another important and interesting area that young entrepreneurs, potential entrepreneurs should have a proper knowledge about. So let me talk a bit about Jumpstart first. Jumpstart is a platform we have created for ideators as well as mature stage startups to either validate your idea in front of a panel of professionals and win exciting prizes through the competition, or to get connected with renowned investors in the country. So as the first step of Jumpstart 2021, we have organized a series of workshops to enhance your knowledge on the subject of entrepreneurship. So this, a minute of their time is dedicated to our banking partner, Bank of Ceylon.
Bank of Ceylon, bearer of the nation's proud lion crest, is honoured to be named Bank of the Year 2021 Sri Lanka by the globally renowned The Banker magazine UK. We salute all Sri Lankans who have empowered our journey to victory.
Now, moving on to our session. So let me give a small introduction on our speaker for today. So our speaker for today is Mr. Sanira Waas. He's the marketing specialist at Daraz, UK. So talking about our speaker, he's a marketer, lecturer, and an entrepreneur who has a lot of experience working as a marketing specialist, a project specialist, and a corporate trainer. He has many experiences, to be exact, around 4 years of corporate and lecturing experiences in number of professional and academic bodies in Sri Lanka. Also, he's a corporate trainer and an outbound who has done corporate training programs and outbound training programs for young people and potential entrepreneurs just like us. He's also the co-founder of OCG Consultants and Connect LK, digital solution providers, which provide an immense support for budding entrepreneurs in Sri Lanka. And also a member of Sasnatha Sansada Foundation, our knowledge partner for Jumpstart 2021. We are indeed honored to have you on board as the speaker for today. So handing over the proceedings of the workshop to Mr. Sanir.
Right. Hi, everyone. A warm welcome back again, and it's good evening. Let's start like this. So I have got a little presentation prepared just for you guys, right? So first of all, thank you, Rotaract Club and Sasnatha Sansada for inviting me on this opportunity. I guess the things we're really going to discuss today is going to be really worth, and more importantly, in this digital arena and specifically COVID-19 and pandemics coming on board. Everything has slightly changed, not slightly, have majorly changed, and this entire digital marketing and everything has also changed and has direct impact on your businesses and in your life and in your personal things and everything. So let's start things on slow, right? I want as much as interaction from you, right? Feel free, whether the language is either Sinhala or English, right? You can raise it out. And personal message and or else you can put it in the everyone's chat box. If it is very thoroughing and like burning, then you can speak up also. Feel free to interrupt me at any time and get your answers or else get your questions solved. Right. So let's start like this before just jumping on to the PPT. I just want to set up a little bit of expectation, right? So digital marketing and the things what we're going to discuss today is really going to be important, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are a student, right? Whether you are a person who work, because, right, if I really ask you, right, if we get an entire day, right, what is the first thing you do after just waking up, right? So most of the time, the first thing you do is switching into your social media and check the updates or else check the notifications, or else log into your WhatsApp and see what is the message, or else Instagram, or else if someone would jump into TikTok. So such a way, the things has changed a lot. TV, newspaper, radio might be the places where the brands and everything get interacted. But now the entire platform and everything has changed. The point is, the things we're going to discuss today, right, is not new to you, right? This is what you daily use, daily see, and daily interact with, right? But අපි කතාවට කියනනේ තැනේ හැටියට ඇනේ, right? The same point, right? So depending on the place, depending on the requirement, you need to know what is my way of doing it, either as a user or else as an advertiser or else as a business, right? So kohe unat, right? Whoever you are and wherever you are, this entire platforms would really be helpful for you. So let's jump into today's part and today's discussion. Right. I hope you can see the screen.
Yeah, we can.
Nice, lovely. So when the Sasnanga Sansan people came across to me and asked, we just would have a little discussion about digital marketing and all this stuff. The pretty much question they ask is, okay, what going to be the points, what going to be the things that you are going to discuss, right, for these kids and this for these people. So as a person, as a marketeer, right, who have been working for Alibaba Group, basically I directly report work for Alibaba Group, and the local venture in Alibaba is Daraz. So I go to office as Daraz, but I really work for Daraz Sri Lanka and for the Alibabas. So what happens is, what I have noticed, right? So I'll give a little intro and kind of an explanation on what I do right now, right? As sort of right? So what I basically do is my job role is basically I work as a marketing specialist, right? I work as a consultant in a way, where I give consultancy and I give support for brands to do their digital marketing, driving traffic and converting sales in Daraz and other related e-commerce platforms, right? Brands වලට consult කරනවා, help කරනවා how to identify their digital strategy. Right? Brands kuama sellers rather. So this might be Unilever, this might be Hemas, this might be Reckitt, right? Mead and Johnson, or brand specific brand in the country has been directly working with me to identify their best solution, best strategy for this digital world, right? So what I have noticed, right, in this brand specifically, like a big brand like conglomerates, multinational companies, they pretty much work with a digital agency. Right? What happens is, a digital agency like Group M or as Isoba or as Grants Group, specialist digital agency. So what happens is this company outsource their business to this digital agency and they do it. Right? That's pretty much happened. But what I have noticed is most of the brands, the brand, right? So basically what happens is this person has no idea how this entire digital things work. Because in Sri Lanka, people think digital is a kind of an restricted area. Only the people who are tech savvy knows about digital, how these Facebook algorithms work, how this Google algorithm works. So that's a kind of a myth that you need to break it out first, right? Where tech ගැන දැනගෙන හිටියත් නැතත් digital ගැන දැන් දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕනේ, right? Because the point is you are working in that, right? So first thing is at least understand the basics of digital. Deep and no කොහොමද Facebook ad එකක් run කරලා කොහොමද මම මගේ sales වැඩි කරන්නේ? No, that might not be your cup of tea, but at least understand, right? What do you mean by Facebook and what do you mean by Facebook advertising, right? So part you need to know. That's the first main mistake and the first main thing that most of you guys fail to do, right? Taking the adim passe, right? Wherever you think, don't ever think digital is not my cup of tea. I'm not a digital marketer. Even I haven't learned digital marketing, to be honest, as a course or something, right? It's always on the job and through Facebook, through Google, right? Through YouTube specifically, I learn everything, right? So the same context, right? Learn. Then the second thing is about this entire nice word called growth hacking. මේක ළමයි මාර නිකන් අපි කියන්නේ පොඩි sexy word එකක්, right? Thrilling word එක. මේ දවස්වල entrepreneurs ඔක්කොම කියන I'm a growth hacker, I want to hack my business with growth and all this stuff. So growth hacking is again a kind of a word most of the people use, right? But really do not know what do you mean by growth hacking, right? So they just tried, okay, I'm a growth hacker, right? I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a startup co-founder, and I try to growth hack stuff, right? So it's not like hacking a computer, right? Hacking a software. It's also a different arena that you need to know what you really mean by growth hacking. And the next part is growth hacking and digital marketing, right? Whether these two are the same things or is two different things, right? So these are the little mistakes which I have understood being in the industry and working with so much of people together, specifically the people who are coming from abroad also, not from Sri Lanka, right? Working with Pakistan people, Bangladesh, India, Nepal, Myanmar, Singaporeans, and even Chinese people, right? So today's discussion would be very crisp, right? Mama detail ගොඩාක් යන්නේ technical දේවල් යන්නේ. I'm just understanding and but a touch base the secrets, right, about growth hacking with digital marketing, right? Again, you might be a person who has no clue, right, about how this entire digital marketing work. Fine, because this would tap you. And you might be a person who know how the digital marketing works, but you really want to understand the magic source in here, right? What is the secret, right? What is that secret spell that you want to say with this Lengadi reviews or something? I'm not a Potter fan though, right? So what is that spell that you want to say so that you get this thing sorted, right? Understood? So two things, growth hacking and digital marketing, and how to link these two things, right? Hari, let's start things on. So to have a little kind of a story, right, a kind of an understanding, I just wanted to see, right, where you guys are coming from, right? Right? What is my TG always, right? So let me know, right? What do you mean by growth hacking, right? Make me lecture make me school class university class right? You can tell whatever the things you want to say, right? If you feel like put a ledger again and everyone directly, what do you mean by growth hacking, right? So simple question I just want to ask, what do you mean by growth hacking, right? What do you mean by? I don't want the perfect textbook explanation, right? Well, just done. I just want to see where you guys are coming from. What do you mean by growth hacking in your understanding? Growth hacking any idea by any chance? I know I'm not speaking to a set of people who are in the Borrello cemetery, right? So when you come to Borrello cemetery, whatever the things you say, there is no response coming up other than the trees leaves are shaking here and there. So I'm not assuming that I'm not talking to people or crowd in the Borrello cemetery. So not assuming that. Love to hear things from you. Let's make it casual as much as we could. Right? Okay, I'm getting answers. Okay, people say growth hacking is trying to hack the system where growth would happen. Sounds good. And okay, people saying, yeah, hacking all the information, right? Fine. Okay, I guess you are almost there, right? You are almost there. So to start things on, growth hacking is pretty much a very simple understanding, which we will discuss in detail. But other than that, right, which I wanted to know is growth hacking digital marketing, right? This is the other myth that we need to understand. Growth hacking means digital marketing, or else digital marketing means growth hacking, right? Growth hack karna kiyane digital marketing the digital marketing kiyane growth hacking mother, or else these two are two different concepts. Either yes, either no. Okay, people say no. Yes, don't know. Good. Right. So growth hacking is basically, as you can see, the definition goes, right? It's a simple action of executing different strategies to promote your business growth. Very simple, right? Growth hacking is simply do something, figure out something, and you do this and you achieve a business growth. I'll tell you a simple example, right? So you might have heard this business called PayPal, right? PayPal where the Elon Musk founding company, right? So PayPal was there, right? And PayPal was there. Actually, it's a good service. But what happened was hardly people really use this, right? Use because right, in the world, people are really reluctant to right now right? So right now in Daraz also, as we are part of an e-commerce giant, right? Most of our sales are coming as cash on delivery, right? People are not really use their credit cards or debit cards to buy products. There are other factors, but that's how the literacy goes. It was way back, and when the PayPal even started, people were really reluctant to use PayPal because it was an independent service. But PayPal grew suddenly within a couple of months simply due to a growth hack technique. It's not digital marketing. It's simply what they did was what they tried to link it with another company called eBay. So what happened was PayPal linked with eBay, where what happens if you want to do a transaction of eBay, right? Buying and selling whatever things, right? You have to do it via PayPal. That is the way how PayPal had their growth, right? Growth hack integrating their PayPal with eBay. So now just understand this context, right? But the point is, to have growth hacking, digital marketing is not the only mean, right? Growth hack can come in different ways. Then you are doing a small business, right? Maybe let's say, Corona kale, most of the people did know this bakery items, cake hadanawa, anam manam karanawa, right? Cakes hadanawa, podi donuts hadanawa, cupcakes hadanawa, and what they did is like, I'm a baker, right? I'm a baker. A part take a right? So what happens is, Hitanda, now you want to grow this business into the next scale, right? A simple technique, most of the people did was, right? You might be sending out a free bunch of freebies or as a hamper or something to an influencer and asking them to give a shout out. The influencers, right? Sheshadi, Shanudri, Dinakshi, and starting with them, all the influencers, and we have the celebrities, influencers of common. You sending them a freebie, and what they do is, right? They just put a story or a post tagging your business. That's a growth hacking strategy, right? So, but look at that way. That's where you use the digital media to come in board. So today's discussion and the most important part is now, yes, growth hacking is not only done by digital marketing, but we can use digital marketing as one of the craziest and successful strategy to hack your business for the next step, right? ඔයාලගේ business එක hack කරන්න පුළුවන්. නැත්නම් growth එක වැඩි කරන්න පුළුවන්. ලේසිම විදියක් තමයි if you properly use digital marketing, right? So the other main question, right, which I had even when I was a kid, was social media marketing and digital marketing is same, yes or no? Social media marketing and digital media marketing, or is digital marketing, are they look the same, or is are they both the same? May social media marketing, digital media marketing can dekama ekayda. Api katha kara growth hacking and digital media, not same, but we can use digital media to have the growth hack. Now the point comes, okay, what do you mean by digital media specifically, or is digital marketing? Digital marketing and social media marketing. May deka dekakda, may deka ekakda. Yes, what do you guys think? This is the other myth most of the people think, right, is that digital media is pretty much social media. Actually, to be honest, right, digital media is like the big umbrella, right? One branch of this is social media, right? So if you really understand, these are the right now, right, in the world, the most used digital media channels to market your business, right? Itan depa me social media, Facebook එක ad එකක් run කරනවා කියන එක විතරක් is digital media marketing. No, we have so much of things, starting with your content marketing, email marketing, influencer, virals, mobile marketing, radio, TV, even radio, TV. We have the digital ones of radio, TV also, right? Right now, YouTube එකේ තියෙනවානේ the සියත right, අර පැස්බර, right, අරවින්දන් පැස්බ ඒ දෙන්නගේ show එක. So that's also part of digital marketing now, because you see most of them ඉස්සර radio, TV දැක්කේ අපි radio එකේ හරි TV එකේ විතරයි. දැන් YouTube එකේ දැන් හිතන්නකෝ දෙවෙනි නිම, right, and සංගීතේ නාටකංකාරය and all these things. ඔයාලා කොහෙද බලන්නේ ඒක? right, TV එකට කරලා බලන්න පැය ගණන් කිව්වම no, you just switch to YouTube and you watch it. So these are also part and parcel of digital marketing now. So I'm not going too detail into all these things, but I'll give a simple snapshot. Influencer marketing කියන්නේ තමයි, you know what you mean, right? ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඔයාලා හැමෝම දවසට එකපාරක් හරි you get caught for an influencer marketing if you are an avid user of Facebook and Instagram. Facebook හරි Instagram හරි TikTok හරි use කරනවා නම් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඔයාලා මේක දකිනවා. Viral marketing දැකලා තියෙනවද? එක එක දේවල් පොඩක් viral යනවා. අර මේ දවස්වල viral marketing technique එක තමයි හිරු use කරනවා, හිරු news use කරනවා. ඔයාලා දැකලා ඇති Facebook එකේ specifically if you scroll through Hiru News එකේ admin, right? The admin of Hiru News use මට කියා ගන්න දෙන්නේ නැති අමුතු සිංහල they try to use, right? මම දැක්ක ලංකාවේ they have around 100,000 or 10,000 people have migrated කියන එක. He has put it in a different wording. Pure සිංහල අපි කියන්නේ අර textbook සිංහල where people really can't understand. But what happened is people share it in their Facebook. එක්කෝ මොකද කරන්නේ? මේ admin ට බැනලා නැත්තම් මේ මොකද තවුස කියන්නේ කියලා දාලා like they share it across. That's viral marketing. Most of us think අයියෝ මේ පිස්සු හිරුට පිස්සු හිරු admin ට පිස්සු කියලා. No, that is their one of their marketing techniques they use. ඔච්චර මිනිස්සුන්ට කියව ගන්න බැරි වෙන්නේ මොකද්ද? අමුතු සිංහලෙන් they try to pure සිංහල they try to use it. When people are with this curiosity people have, they click and see what's really inside. නැත්තම් ඔයාලා බලන්න අපේ gossip channels, right? Facebook gossip channels. මොකක්ද කියන්නේ කාගේ නමක් කියලා influencer ගේ වීඩියෝ එකක් leak වෙයි. නැත්තම් පින්වතා හැර ගියාද, right? Something like that, right? This is a question, right? නැත්තම් අර ඒ කාලේ තිබ්බ මහින්ද කවුද? මහින්ද ජනාධිපතිකමෙන් අස් වේද? ඉල්ල අස් වේද? Right? As vehicle, there is putting question mark. So people just click and see. That is viral marketing. And there are people, I saw a nice ad back then. You might have also seen Singer. Right? Singer එක අස්සට හොරෙක් පැනලා ඒ හොරා අස්සේ කැරකෙනවා. Right? බර්ගර් එකක් ඕඩර් කරලා කනවා රැට ටීවී බලනවා මේ සිංගර් ෂෝරූම් එකක් අස්සේ ඒක CCTV කැමරාවක් ෆුටේජ් එකක් අරගෙන යාලා එක දාලා තිබ්බා. හොරෙක් කියලා හොයලා දෙන්නේ කියලා. But after all, later on, it was found out, no, it is not a hora. It was a marketing campaign they did as a viral technology, right? So, good level you can play around. Then mobile marketing, SMS and all this stuff, radio ads I told. Then content marketing, right? We are going to come into content marketing a lot heavily. Social media marketing, අපි දන්න දේවල් ටිකම Facebook advertising, Google advertising, Google Analytics, Facebook tools, right? එතකොට TikTok හැම පැත්තෙම තියෙනවා. Then pay-per-click, which is again a pure thing. I'm coming into those parts later on, right? Right. Cool, nice. Hari, let's get these things rolling. Search engine optimization, electronic billboards. One of the electronic billboards, you know. Is there a billboard print karala ginalla mehima board එක ගහන්නේ. Then things are electronic, right? If you just switch through Colombo Gold Road, you would see so much of electronic billboards. And search engine optimization, we are going to discuss about that also heavily. Hari. Let me give a little snapshot about what is really happening because I want to discuss more on the magic source. This is what's really happening in the world, right? The people who use digital, the people who use mobile phones, the people who use social media has grown massively. And also for this, right, the COVID-19 had a direct impact, right? But what happens is COVID-19 has a direct impact on the uplift of users of digital media and social media. So I firmly believe with these numbers of Sri Lanka also, you can say, right, we all have 21.37 population, but we have 31.8 million mobile phone connections, right? අපේ ඉන්න population එකට වඩා mobile phone connections ලංකාවේ තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ එක කෙනෙක්ට 3-4 පාරක් තියෙනවා sims. Internet users, 50%, almost 50% of our native people have internet, right? So with these numbers, right, if you really understand the importance, right, the way of how to use this digital media, trust me, you are going to win this battle, right? ඕනම කෙනෙක්ට මේ තියෙන understanding එක, right? හරියට දාගත්තා නම් ඔළුවට මොකද්ද මම කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා for the next 10 days, 30 days, 1 month, 1 year, right? In the next 5 years. හරියට මොනවද කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා identify කරගත්තා නම් it's no brainer that you will hit this number. Hari, let's jump into the discussion. Hari, anyone? What is the magic source, right? What is the trick, right? What is this magic source for growth hacking with digital marketing? Anyone has any idea? මොකක්ද මේ trick එක? Digital marketing වලින් business එක grow කරන්න ඕනේ නම්, right? What is the most important thing that you want to try it out, right? What is the thing? The most awaited question, the most awaited thing. What do you need to do, or else what you really need to understand and identify if you really want to hack? Any suggestions, any comments, right? Anyone who use social media, I know Anivarim for a fact you have used social media, at least WhatsApp for example. I take up social media, right? What is the magic source? What do you really want to do? Mona karod the hit karanna puluwan me kiyana dewal. Yes. Yes, okay, I'm getting answers. Lovely. Branding, content, create curiosity. Lovely, lovely, good. What is the most important part? Yeah, what do you really want to do, right? Digital media, hari api katha kara digital media කියන්නේ අරව තියෙනවා මේක තියෙනවා, right? So the point is, what do you really want to do? Good, right? You guys are almost there, right? Understand this point, right? The magic source, right? We are coming to magic source, but we have to understand the source is put a minus now, right? Source is there, but we need to put the minus also. So the magic source or is the magic trick. Just before that, we need to understand about this a lot, right? And people, everyone in here, this is what you really miss, right? The funnel, right? So if I'm to give you a little snapshot, the difference between traditional media and digital media, the main difference of traditional media and digital media is the real-time numbers, or as the real-time impact, or as the real-time success. TV, for example, ඔය ad එකක් දානවා. Daily Mirror එකේ අපි හිතමු සිංහල එකක ලක්බීම හරි දීමේල් හරි මොකක් හරි එකක. Right? You put an ad. Now you get sales, right? But you really do not know which ad has really worked, no? දිනමින් එක වැඩ කරාද? ඒ කියන්නේ අපි සිංහල බේස් ඔඩියන්ස් එකක් වැඩ කරාද? නැත්නම් Daily Mirror එකේ අපි පොඩ්ඩක් English බේස් ඔඩියන්ස් එකක් ටැප් කරේ. එතකොට මොන ad එකද වැඩ කරේ? You can understand. Right? But in digital media, what happens is when you do something, you really know this is my direct return on the investment. That's one of the key difference. ගොඩක් අය හිතන්නේ, right? Digital media marketer කෙනෙක් වෙන්න that you want to have so much of creativity. Right? ගොඩක් අය හිතන්නේ creativity තියනවා නම් මට පුළුවන් digital media marketer කෙනෙක් වෙන්න. මට marketing කරන්න creativity තමයි ඕනේ කියලා. Yes, creativity also need to be there, but more than that, you need to have this understanding of your analytics and your numbers. Mokada, the point is, when you deal with digital media marketing, right, specifically in the digital arena whatsoever, you have the real-time visibility, at least T-1 or is T+1 rather. ඒ කියන්නේ ඊයේ කරපු දෙයක් results වලට අද බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. right? දැන් social media Facebook ad එකක් කරන කරොත් ඔයාලට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. ad එකක් කොහොම නැලමයි නිකන් social media එකේ ඔය post එකක් දාන්න. post එකක් දැම්මම you can see, right? likes කොච්චරද, comments කොච්චරද, shares කොච්චරද, right? engagement එක කොච්චරද, මිනිස්සු දාලා තියෙන comments වලින් බලන්න පුළුවන් මෙයාලා මොකටද මේ product එකට කැමතිද නැත්නම් banner දානවද, right? So that's one thing that you can understand, right? So the same point what you need to understand is what this funnel, right? මේ funnel එක not only in digital media, this is there in the entire marketing. But what happens is we can understand මේ funnel එකේ කොතනද අපි ඉන්නේ කියලා. So let me talk a little bit more on this funnel. Each customer, right, or else a potential customer, again a bakery business, නැත්නම් අපි කියමු cake business එකක්, පොඩි cupcake business එකක් කරනවා නම්, right? If you are a startup, I know most of you might be a startup or else might be a person who willing to be a startup, right? So when you do something brand new, අලුතෙන්ම දෙයක් කරනවා නම්, right, people do not know really what you are offering to. ඔයා මොනවාද කරන්නේ කියලා කවුරුත් දන්නේ නැහැ. So කවුරු හරි මුලින් හිතුවොත් හරි මම social media නැත්නම් මම Facebook එකේ ad එකක් run කරනවා. මම අදම ad එක run කරනවා. මම ad එක run කළා මම හෙට වෙදි sales expect කරනවා. That in my way of theory and in my way of understanding, what I believe is that it's not 100% going to work like that. කෙනෙක් ඇවිල්ලා ad එකක් දැකලා ආශා මෙහෙම එකක් තියෙනවා මම ගන්න ඕනේ කියලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. But a probability, the probability of having something like that way is very low. So if you work like that way, right, it means your money would be a waste. Always understand, මේක තමයි core එක. හරිද? Digital media, any business, right? This is the core. First thing is you need to understand this goes like this, right? The pyramid එක reverse එකට දෙන්නේ. So the top part is the top funnel, we call this one. That you need to first raise awareness, right? This might be your branding, right? දැන් ගොඩක් කෙනෙක් ප්‍රශ්න තමයි අම්මු මම startup එකක් මම කොහොමද awareness raise කරන්නේ මම කොහොමද මෙච්චර සල්ලි invest කරන්නේ කියලා. No, I'll let you know the simplest way to raise awareness. You do something like this, right? කොහොමද කරන්නේ? ඔයා හිතන්නේ cake business එකක්. I'm taking this cake business as because I saw there has been so much of people working in this bakery industry right now at these days, and even Christmas is also coming up. What you could do, හදන ඔන්න පොඩි ලස්සන cupcakes එකක් හදනවා. photos ටිකක් ගහනවා ඔයාලගේ social media Facebook page එකක් open කරනවා ABCD bakery or something like that way නැත්නම් cakery හරි මොකක් කරලා ලස්සන නමක් දාලා you make it like that way. What happens is now how to raise awareness. The simplest way to raise awareness is talk to your closest friends, right? Ask them to share it across in their Facebook or else in their Instagram stories or whatsoever. මේ සල්ලි නැතුව මේ සල්ලි යනවාද මේ වැඩේට සල්ලි යන්නේ නැහැ, right? Ask your closest friends, right? ඇත අම්මගේ තාත්තගේ social media එකෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ඔයාම ගින share කරගන්න. නංගි මල්ලි යාළුවෝ, right? Whoever is there, ask them to share it across. එක්කෙනෙක් share කරද්දී ඔයාලට තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ ඉබේටම the awareness starts to increase. එතකොට දැනගන්නවා මෙහෙම කරනවා අරයත් එහෙම කරනවා. I'll tell you my practical example, right? So basically what happens is when I start lecturing and after my graduate after my university life and everything, when I start lecturing and all, you know, right, taking the first student is the hardest part of the equation, right? Mark lecture කරනවා tutor කරනවා right? පළවෙනි ළමයා ගන්න මාර අමාරුයි. So the easiest way, I don't have budgets also. What I did was I asked my friends share it across in their platforms, right? Simple thing. What happens? Awareness increase. So that's the easiest way to do this. It amatarava, if you want to have, if you have a little budget to allocate, you can run Facebook campaigns, you can run Instagram campaigns, right? And raise awareness, right? What සල්ලි දිනවනම් influencer marketing කරන්න පුළුවන්. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට දැන් ලංකාවේ ඉන්න influencer network එක I'm working with influencers also very closely. So ගොඩක් influencers startups වලට help කරනවා. එයාලා සල්ලි ගන්න නැහැ ඇත්තටම startup shout out එකක් දෙන්න. ඔයාලට දැන් උනත් ගිහින් direct message කරන්න සෙනාලි ඉන්නවා එතකොට දසුනිය අතවුද and there are people lot of these influencers, right? Sasha is there. So you can direct message them and you can send them a freebie and සල්ලි දෙන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. freebie දුන්නාම එයාලා shout out එකක් දෙනවා social media channels වල. That's one way of raising awareness. So if you want to do a business, first raise awareness. ඔයාගේ product එක මොකක්ද? Right? අපි කියනවා මේකට in marketing the USP, the unique selling proposition. What is the main point? What is the unique point in you? මොකක්ද ඔයාගේ business එක? ඇයි ඔයාගේ business එක? එක sugar free ද? Right? නැත්නම් මේක this is the best recipe ද? නැත්නම් මේක secret recipe එකක්ද? Right? මේක එකක් ගත්තම තව එකක් නිකන්ද? That is the unique selling proposition which gives you the advantage from your competitors. ඒක ගැන පොඩ්ඩක් යාට කියන්න මෙහෙම පොඩි shout out එකක් දෙන්නකෝ අක්කියෝ something like that way they would do it. And that's the way to create awareness. So first thing, create awareness. Then when you create awareness, people top of their mind, it comes, right? What happens is top of their mind, people understand what මෙහෙම product එකක් තියෙනවා. Then the interest come into play. එතකොට next time when they want to buy out a cookie or as a cupcake, top of their mind, okay, this bakery, this cakery part comes into their mind. That is where the interest come into play. But again, people are going to buy it, might not, right? Might not, but still that interest comes. ඔන්න 10 දෙනෙක් දැක්කා අවයා කරා දැන් පහක් විතර interest එකක් තියෙනවා. Then they think of consideration. Now they try to compare you. හරි ඒකේ කේක් එකක් 150යි 150 rupees. අරක 125. Okay, I might go and buy that. So that is where the consideration, the bottle එක pass වෙනවා එහාට මෙහාට. That's the next step. So if you are going to start a business, first try කරන්න එපා කෙලින්ම මම sale එකක් කරනවා කියලා. ඒක එහෙම වෙන්න පුළුවන්, බැරි වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්, සල්ලි අපරාධ වෙනවා. So first try to raise awareness. Then keep doing the awareness and the people slowly come into this funnel. Interest, consideration, then the intent, right? On intent ගන්න ඔන්න මෙන්න එනවා. And the last part is evaluation. Yes, they are going to buy your product, but they are going to evaluate deeper. The sugar free කියලා තියෙනවා. ඇත්තටම මේක sugar free ද? And evaluation come. And the last part is purchase. This is how the entire thing works in digital media and in marketing. But the point is, each of these places, you can track where your customer is. What බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. Why customer කොතනද ඉන්නේ කියලා. That is the advantage of digital media marketing. So if you want to hack your business, someone to purchase. No. Purchase would come eventually. Try to raise awareness. බලන්න මොකද කරන්නේ ඔයාගේ යාළුවට දෙනවා. යාළුවට කියනවා මේ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක ගන්න කාලා ෆොටෝ එකක් දාලා ෂෙයා කරන්න. ෂෙයා කරාට පස්සේ කියනවා ඔයා මගේ යාළුවානේ මට පොඩි පොසිටිව් ෆීඩ්බැක් එකක් එවන්න. Right, what you do? ඔයා ෆීඩ්බැක් එක ස්නැප්ෂොට් එකක් කරනවා. ස්නැප්ෂොට් කරලා ඔයාගේ Facebook එකේ දානවා happy customer reviews, right? මොකද වෙන්නේ? People see. That is where the consideration comes. දැන් මම ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකක් ගන්න යද්දි මම දකිනවා වෙන කෙනෙක් කියලා දෙනවා මේ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක හොඳයි කියලා. එතකොට the likelihood of buying that product is good. Right? All කාට හරි ඉන්නවා නම් කාට if anyone wants to have a customized plan, right, on trying this one, ඔයාලා දැන් මෙතන දාන්න. ඔයාලා හිතනවා මගේ business එක මේ වගේ එකක්. Could you help me to identify what is my strategy would be to get this thing sorted කියලා ඔයාලා ඕන මේ chat box එකේ දාන්න. I'll get that into an example and get it sorted. Bakery නැතුව වෙන මොකක් හරි ඕනෙලා. Right? So first thing, raise awareness. Then do free awareness. Try to get the free awareness as much as you can from your friends and from your network. Then keep doing it. Then try to get the positive reviews, feedbacks, shares, videos. අපි කර කියන user generated content. right? ඔයා content එක generate කරනවට වඩා user generated content is the highest අපි කියන හරිම ROI එක තියෙන user generated content එක. Simple example like I'll let you know, right? You know her, everyone knows at Daraz, right? You know at Daraz, right? So in Daraz, we have this kind of a barrier that we're trying to break is that people have negative thoughts on Daraz, buying on Daraz. Or දැකලත් ඇති, right? Social media එකේ ගොඩක් අය කෑ ගහනවා නේද? Daraz එකෙන් order කරපුවාම මම ඉල්ලුව එකක් ආවේ තව එකක් නැත්නම් ෆොටෝ එකේ තිබ්බ එකක් ආවේ තව එකක් නැත්නම් මම දෙකක් order කරා එකක් ආවේ, right? So you get all these negative comments in Daraz, right? For Daraz. I have seen this, right? So that's a barrier that as a business, we are trying to break it. But then again, we have understood, we have done a research in-house and identified මේ මොන වගේ products ඇත්තටම sell වෙන්නේ, right? මොන වගේ products ඇත්තටම අපේ sell වෙන්නේ, right? So most of the people thought අපිත් ඇත්තටම හිතුවේ අර අපි දන්න product එකක් දැන් ගන්න ගියාම Daraz එකේ you have an image, right? පොඩි image එකක් තියෙන ලස්සන. අපි හිතුවේ we initially thought image එක ලස්සනයි නම්, right? Image එක ලස්සනයි නම් high tendency that this product would sell. හිතන්න වාගාව තියෙනවා phones, right? Phones හතරක් තියෙනවා. එකම phone හතර හරිද? අපි Daraz එක it's a market platform નો. So එකම phones හතර තියෙනවා. ඒ phones හතරේ we initially thought ඔය හතරෙන් වැඩිපුරම sell වෙන්නේ the nicest image හොඳටම edit කරලා ලස්සනම තියෙන image එක. Assuming that price level is constant, price level is constant, අපි හිතුවේ අර image එක ලස්සනම තියෙන එක තමයි sell වෙන්නේ කියලා. But initially actually though we thought like that, ඒක එහෙම වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක එහෙම වුණෙත් නැහැ. අපි ඇත්තටම trickle down කරලා ගියාම the most important thing a customer, a purchaser, a buyer would purchase is what we call the user generated content. අර දැකලා ඇති Daraz එකේ පල්ලෙහා ගියාම reviews and recommendations කියලා part එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒකේ තියෙනවා වෙන buyers ලා products අරගෙන මොකද කරලා තියෙන්නේ? යාලේ photos හරි මොන හරි අරන් කියන මේ product එක හොඳයි. මේ product එක මෙහෙමයි ආවේ. package එක මේ වගේ ආවේ, right? ඇතුළේ තිබ්බ products මේ වගේ. අන්න ඒ product එක තමයි fastම sell වෙන්නේ. අර ලස්සනට අපි කියන්නේ fancy කරලා තියෙන content එක නෙමෙයි. So in your business also, right, as a startup, right? Or else you don't have to be a startup. ඔයාලා දැන් හැමෝම personal branding කරනවානේ. You every day one day you go to work කරන්න යනවා. ඔයාලා පොඩ්ඩක් corporate ladder එක නගින්න හදනවා සමහර set එකක්. ඒතර you want to have that personal branding, right? So personal branding කරන්න පුළුවන් මේ විදිහට, right? Get a recommendation from someone. So the same thing in your business, right? Understand this funnel. මේ funnel එකේ first customer ගන්න තමයි අමාරු. හැබැයි first customer ගත්තට පස්සේ don't let that customer go away. එයාට නිකන් product එක කාලා බීලා යන්න දෙන්න එපා. උන first customer ට නිකන් දුන්නත් කවන්නේ නැහැ. Get a feedback, get a review from that person. Get that feedback, get that review, get that content from them and post it in their social media. Run it as an ad. That is where you get your purchases done. That is how you get your content and you get your growth done. ගොඩක් අයට වරදින්නේ, right? They think අපි ලස්සන post එකක් හදලා ad එකක් විදිහට run කරොත් මිනිස්සු ගන්නවා මගේ product එක කියලා. මිනිස්සු ගන්නේ නැහැ. That's good for awareness. Right? That's good for consideration. But to make it an evaluating and purchase decision, මතක තියාගන්න, more than what you generate, if you get something the user generated will have highest impact. Well, ඒක තමයි දැකලා තියෙන තමයි ගොඩක් අයට Instagram වල, right? If you have understood in Instagram, you might have seen ගොඩක් අය repost කරනවා, right? ගොඩක් brands අර අපේ sellers ලා අපේ ගොඩක් sellers ලා most of the sellers, even big brands, user generated content එක repost කරනවා. Why? That's how you generate the purchase intention, right? So the first thing, if you really want to grow in this digital arena, understand this funnel, right? We call this one as the funnel of marketing, right? Raise awareness as much as you can. If you are a new business, try to raise as much as awareness rather than, right, focusing more on purchases initially. Eventually purchases come, right? Hi. If you have any questions, you can feel free to drop in here. Hari. So I have given you a simple example on which sort of assets or which sort of channels that you can use to have this entire funnel done. So this entire funnel of what I mentioned before, I have now taken it into 5 main points, right? 5 then are good at points. 5 5 main points. First one is the awareness and the consideration and the purchase And now we have the post purchase, loyalty and the service and the loyalty. So again, I'm telling you, this can be done as a kind of an supplementary strategy of your online and your offline. Hitan what offline kita part එක තිබ්බේ නැහැ කියලා. හැබැයි online එක විතරක් තියෙනවා නම් if you want to create more awareness, right? It's idea that you can create display ads, right? In Facebook වාට පුළුවන් අපි මම මෙහෙම product එකක් කරනවා. මම මේ වගේ business එකක් කරන්නේ. මම මෙහෙම කෙනෙක්, right? ඔයා lecture කෙනෙක් නැත්නම් ඔයා class කරන කෙනෙක්, right? I'm doing classes like this, right? This is my qualifications, right? This is my product. This is my product specification. Raise awareness and you get 10% off, something like that. Raise awareness through Facebook. Then you might come into the next channel. Then for consideration and for purchase, YouTube is a good place. Why? In YouTube, you know, it's what? It's video content, right? It's a video content. What a product එක review කරන්න. ඔයාලා දැකලා තියෙනවනේ අපේ Chanuks bro ඉන්නවා. එතකොට SL photo section, එතකොට SL geek, all these YouTubers, tech YouTubers, what they do. එයාලා මොනවද කරන්නේ? product එක අරගෙන product එක review කරලා කියනවනේ මේකේ specifications මෙච්චරයි, product එක හෙල්ලුවම මේ වගේ එන්නේ, product එකේ photo එක මේ වගේ වෙන්නේ, right? And colorings මේ වගේ, prices මේ වගේ ගන්න පුළුවන් කොතනින්ද? Why they do it? Why that there's industry of tech YouTubers in Sri Lanka? Because before making a purchase, people go and look for that product. Simple example. Haven't you ever tried to make a mobile purchase or as I phone එක purchase කරන්න කලින් කවදාකවත් search කරලා බලලා නැද්ද? මේ phone එක හොඳද නරකද කියලා. Or else haven't you compare කරපුවා මොකක්ද දෙන්නේ? YouTube video එකක්. Right? iPhone 13 එක ගන්නවද? iPhone 12 එක ගන්නවද? iPhone 12 versus 13. You get so much of videos. That's where you consider whether I'm going to make the purchase or not, right? So right? Understand wherever you want to go, depending on the place and depending on the thing that you really want to go, use the channel that you want to see. And the purchase, most of the time purchase when your website එකක වෙනවා වෙන්න පුළුවන්, right? නැත්තම් store එකේ වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්, offline customer කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා නැත්තම් website එකේ වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම නැත්තම් අපි දන්නවා Facebook එකේ direct message කරන්න පුළුවන්, Instagram එකේ direct message කරන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම නැත්තම් WhatsApp එක number එක දාලා WhatsApp එකට order එක ගන්න පුළුවන්. That is where the purchase happens. And the last part is your loyalty and your service. Where if it is a product like AC එකක් වගේ නම් you have to have service, right? And the loyalty, right? I mean loyalty කියන part එක තමයි ළමයි අපි කියන්නේ මේක retarget කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? The people who would be a repetitive customers. What happens is next time when he's going to buy, right, he would come without even you do marketing. Where marketing that person would come and buy from you. That is where the loyalty comes into play. So always understand this funnel, this journey. User journey. Everyone starts from awareness. Where other business, right? Try to raise awareness first, right? Awareness raise karana balanga. Then automatically people come, right? And if a person comes, the point is don't let that person go right? Try to get that person, try to get a recommendation. Push recommendation. Try to get a small recommendation and get it sorted, right? Hari. Okay. So in digital arena, right, to get these entire things, right, there is this ideal way where we understand this one as what are the 5 core things that you can do to attract a customer and convert a customer, right? Use word conversion, right? Convert the customer, right? So if you want to do a proper strategy, right, in digital, you always have to first think, how can I make this product accessible to all of these persons? Simple example, or cake business at Kanona, right? Then work cake business around Wattala, right? Wattala area ke business at Kanona. Or hit on a Facebook ad run, right? Facebook ad run kana batik over. Does it make sense? Right? No, it doesn't make sense. So first thing is understand where I could access. What can you mage market yes, market but people might not convert. Your money would be invest. So first thing is make it access, right? Understand about the accessibility, right? Identify mama dana wattarata, then Nigambu, Khandana, Jayala, right? Then maybe Colombo also, Colombo suburbs you can play around. But beyond that, Kalutara Panadura might be too vague. chill out from down south, two-way. So first thing is access, right? And the next one is access through digital media also. දැන් හිතනවා cake business එකක් කරනවා නම් you want to understand මම ad එක දාන්නේ නැත්නම් මම මේ content එක දාන්නේ කොතනද? Facebook එකේ දාන්න පුළුවන්, right? Instagram දාන්න පුළුවන්. TikTok දාන්න පුළුවන්, right? Pinterest, Twitter නම් මොන හැමතැනම දාන්න පුළුවන්. But what do you think, right? I'm a cake business provider or I'm a bakery guy, right? I'm putting a kind of an post or something in Twitter. Twitter දාන එක වැඩක් තියෙනවා. Twitter කියන්නේ මොකද? නිකන් news article එකක් වගේ දාන්න, right? Twitter වල දාලා වැඩක් නැහැ. So first understand where you can access your customers offline and online. Offline කියන product එක දෙන්න පුළුවන් කොච්චර දුරකටද and online කොහොමද tap කරන්නේ කියන එක. Twitter වගේ දාලා වැඩක් නැහැ, right? සමහරවිට cake business එකක් TikTok දාලා වැඩකුත් නැහැ. හැබැයි fashion item එකක් නම් TikTok might work, right? The next one is engagement. How can I engage my users with my content, with my platforms? ඔයාලා දැකලා තියෙනවද ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේ giveaways කියලා දේවල් කරනවා. 4 දිනෙකට tag කරන්න, right? And share කරන්න in your profile and you get a giveaway. You get a 10% off, you get a voucher. Right? Why brands do that? You also can do that. ඔයා කියන මොකද 10,000 හරි 5,000 හරි gift voucher එකක් දෙනවා from there. Tag 4 people and share it across in your platform. Specifically in Instagram, people do this, right? And in Facebook, they do this. Why? එහෙම කරන්නේ? This is free awareness, right? 5,000 use කරලා you get genuine people to comment and share. Get engaged. Engage කරගන්න. සමහරවට දැකලා ඇති ඔයා cake business එකක් කරනවා. ඔයා දාන පොඩි poll එකක් in Facebook. What do you most preferred? Vanilla cake or a chocolate cake or a strawberry cake? Asking people to come and comment or else asking people to come and poll. Vote එකක් දාන්න. Why brands do this? To raise engagement. First one, access. Access. Second one, how can I engage my customers? Third one is customize. Whether I can customize my content, my message. හිතන්න brand new person කෙනෙක්ට දෙන්න ඕනේ message එකයි කලින් product එකක් ගත්ත කෙනෙක්ට දෙන්න ඕනේ message එකයි දෙකක්. So try to customize as much as you can. I'll let you know a simple example. This is a kind of a strategy Starbucks initially used in their business. You know, in Sri Lanka, we don't have Starbucks that much, right? People might not really aware about Starbucks also. But in the other part of the world, Starbucks is a famous coffee brand. So in Starbucks, you might have heard, in Starbucks, they write the person's name on this coffee. Coffee එකේ අලගේ නම දානවා, right? නම දාලා කියනවා Ali, your coffee is ready, come and collect, right? එහෙම තමයි යාලා කතා කරන්නේ, right? So what basically they do is, right? Once they are in their strategy, මේ පොඩි case study එකක් තියෙනවා. එයාලා එහෙම ලියනවලු. ලියපුවම what happens is, මිනිස්සු ඇවිල්ලා I'm Lily, I'm getting my coffee and I'm going away. මම කියනවා coffee එක අරන් යනවා. එතකොට people what they did, Lily කියලා ගහලා තියෙනවා coffee එකේ යාලා photo එකක් අරන් දානවා. අන්න Starbucks එකේ මමත් purchase කරා and my name is also there. That's customization. Right? That's a strategy they used. But one day, one crazy thing happens. That was Starbucks. They haven't said where the stall is, but එයාලගේ stall එකට they have hired a new person, right? අලුතින් කෙනෙක් hire කරලා තියෙනවා, right? He is an immigrant for that nation. ඒ කියන්නේ හිතන්නකෝ අපි තුම ඇමරිකා කියලා US UK හරි කියලා UK වලට එනවා නිකන් ස්පේන් වලින් කවුරු හරි. ස්පේන් වලින් දැන් වැඩ කරනවා in Starbucks. So same thing happens. Then කෙනෙක් ඇවිල්ලා කියනවා my name is Lily, my name is Martin, something like that way, right? So when this newcomer comes and as also he is from a different nation, වෙන රටකින් එන්නේ. එයාට අරක ලියන්න බෑ හරි විදියට. වරදිනවා. So what happened was එයා ලියන spellings වැරදි. එයා හිතන්නකෝ නිකන් John කියලා ලියනවා John JHON ලියන්නත් පුළුවන් JOHN ලියන්නත් පුළුවන්. නැත්නම් JONE ලියන්නත් පුළුවන්, right? Different spellings of. So what happened is this new person, right, has wrote for the entire day, whatever the things that he has wrote has misspelled. වැරදියට තමයි ලියලා තියෙන්නේ. හිතලා මතර නෙමෙයි වැරදිලා ලියලා තියෙන වැරදියට. What happened was they never even believed due to this slight change, which was a mishap. හිතලා කරපු දෙයක් නෙමෙයි වැරදිලා කරේ. What happened was the entire social media of that arena, that range has gone viral with Starbucks. මිනිස්සු හැමෝම snap එකක් අරන් දානවා, look here, Starbucks has got my name wrong, right? But that was a part of an, right? ඒක marketing කරන්න හිතලා කරපු දෙයක් නෙමෙයි, but that was shared across in digital marketing. And The point was they understood, right? The user generated content is the easiest one. Next day morning with the Starbucks, the entire sales and the entire footfall of Starbucks that stole has increased by 200%. At 200% වලින් යාලගේ දවසේ එන customers visit එක වැඩි වෙලා තියෙනවා. Why? People want to just try and see whether it's really working. And what the Starbucks people have done, given the context, අර Spain වලින් ආපු කෙනාවම storefront එකට දාලා he's talking in different product style එක වෙනස්, accent එක වෙනස් නේ. ඒතර people understand මෙයා වෙනස් කෙනෙක්, right? That's why the name get wrong. So that's where the customization happens, right? So try your best, right, to customize it. ඔයාලා try කරන්න මේක customize කරන්න. පුළුවන් තරමට ඔය product එක customize කරන්න බලන්න. Then the people might come. Not only your product, try your marketing messages, marketing channels also. Right? Facebook එකේ දාන එකම YouTube එකේ දාන්න එපා. Facebook එකේ දාන එකම Instagram එකේ දාන්න එපා. Right? Because the audience is different. Right? So just understand that also. Next one is connections. Connection, physical connection, yes, it's really good. But digital connections is also very good. හිතන්න කෙනෙක් කස්ටමර් කෙනෙක් ඔයාලට මෙසේජ් කරනවා ඩිරෙක්ට් මෙසේජ් එකක් කරනවා මේකේ ප්‍රයිස් එක කීයද කියලා. දැන් අද හපුවම වීක් එකකින් විතර රිප්ලයි කරලා හරියන්නේ නැහැ. Because කෙනෙක් මෙසේජ් කරන්නේ why? Because that person is really interested about your business. නැත්තම් නිකන් කොහෙවත් අපි කියන්නේ like වෙන තියෙන අමාරුකට they don't message you. So try to have connect as much as. And the last part is try to collaborate. Collaboration might come with another brand, another seller, maybe with an influencer, right? Maybe with their customers also, right? What පුළුවන් customer ට කියන්න referral එකක් කරන්න. මගේ business එකට කෙනෙක්ව ගෙනල්ලා දෙන්න. I'll give you 10% off. You might have heard this word called affiliate marketing, right? Affiliates, referrals, right? You try to collaborate with your customers. Affiliates වෙන එක උදේ customers ට ගොඩක් කරා. ඔයා වාගේ යාළුවට කියනවා අතන කේක් හොඳයි ගිහලා ගන්න. And ඔයා කියන්නේ මම එව්වේ කියලා. සනීර එව්වේ කියලා කියන්නේ. So what happens? That person might give you 5% off for this and the revenue you can garner customer update. That's the part. So think. මේ කොහෙවත් නෑ textbook strategies. මේ business එකට මම මෙහෙම කරන්න ඕනේ. මේ business එකට මෙහෙම කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා, right? Think, right? So if you use these 5 ways, then the way and the weightage that you need to give is this. Again, more accessible, then try to engage, then try to customize, then try to connect and collaborate. Right? Cool. I think they are not that much of technical and more practical දේවල් that you really want to tap into. Right? මේ වගේ දේවල් කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් හරිම ලේසි business එක grow කරන්න. පළවෙනි එක මොකද්ද? customer journey එක. Right? funnel එක. Second one is මොනවාද අපිට කරන්න පුළුවන්. හිතන්න එපා post එකක් create කරලා Facebook එකේ දාලා මම ad budget එකක් දැම්මම මිනිස්සු ඇවිල්ලා might come and buy your product. Right? එහෙම කරන්නේ නැහැ. අපි user journey එක identify කරගන්න ඕනේ. කොයි වගේ user කෙනෙක්ද ඉන්නේ කියලා identify කරගන්න ඕනේ. And then you need to have different strategies. Are you going to use a collaborative one? Are you going to use a customization? And are you going to use all together? Eka hitana. Right. So I have given a little case study on how the Shenzhen market in China has really worked with Burberry, right? So this is a fashion brand. So what they have done, right? How they have made the access as a strategy, how they have done engagement as a strategy. So as you can see access, right? So what has happened is whatever the apps and all these stuff. So what happened was this is a fashion chain, right? So what happened was එයාලා stylist ලව ගන්නවා, right? Stylist ලව පුළුවන් ඒ Burberry app එක through ඔයාලා පුළුවන් book කරගන්න. Book කරලා what you can do is, right? like සාමාන්‍ය ළමයි දැන් ඔයාලා හිතන්නකෝ ඔයාලා bridal dress එකක් ගන්නවා කියලා. Bridal dress එකක් ගන්න ගියාම කොච්චර අමාරුද නේ, right? ඉන්න කෙනාව book කරගන්න. So what they do is like through Burberry, I will plug you the stylist or directly stylist connect කරගන්න පුළුවන්. Connect කරලා you can customize your dress. That is accessibility. Engagement. What happens? Influencers කරනවා. Influencer ට කියන ඕන මේ links use කරන්න. මේවා share කරන්න. Right? That is engagement. Customize. App එකෙන් purchase කරපුවම you get points. Right? සමහර products අතම you get points. Then even in Daraz, you get something called Daraz gems, right? And where you make a certain purchase, you get Daraz gems as rewards. And in Daraz, we have something called 1 rupee game, where you just have to pay 1 rupee, right? Rupee like one only, and you can play a game. That's an inbuilt game, right? A game again, dinapuama, you get a 5,000 iPhone එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්, laptop එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්, you get something like that, right? So that is the customization. Then connect, live stream. In Daraz also we have something called Daraz Live, which is pretty much coming from the Alibaba platforms. Live streams. Ekane kenek ඇවිල්ලා Daraz app එක අස්සේ ඔයාගේ app එක අස්සේ live stream කරනවා. Stream කරනවා. කොහොමද මේ product එක අඳින්නේ? කොහොමද product එකක් තෝරගන්නේ? right? කොහොමද product එක review කරන්නේ? ඒ ටික. Then connect and then collaborate. Collaborate කරන්න පුළුවන් simple. What Burberry has done is they have asked people, customers to let us know what is your dream dress. වාට පුළුවන් ඔයාගේ අතින් sketch කරන්න කැමතිම dress එක, dream dress එක. ඒක ඇඳලා වාට පුළුවන් එයාලට යවන්න. එයාලා එතකොට මොකද කරන්නේ? ඒක එයාලා හදලා දෙනවා. Right? Then you would say what? In your social media you would say, look here, Burberry has created the dress which I wanted. මමයි ඒක ඇඳේ. මමයි ඒක එයාලට යවුවේ. Look, now it is there in the stores. අර ඒ වගේ cutting cutter, you can get these things sorted if you really use these channels. Access, engage, customize, connect, and collaborate. Right? Hari. I guess we are in the middle way around and we are jumping into the last part before the Q&A comes. That is the digital flywheel, right? So now this entire funnel, right, have made more simpler so that anyone who would feel like I want to make things simple, right? And this is the most simplest version of your funnel every startup could use, the digital flywheel. Right, the digital flywheel. So you have, right, 4 types of user experiences in a simple product. Digital wala, marketing wala, you have 4 types of people. Api hamoma, every one of us might be somewhere in this 4 set. Ekko we are strangers. Api danne me product එක ගැන කිසි දෙයක් දන්නේ නැහැ. Right? ඔයත් දැන් startup business එකක් අරගෙන ඔයා product එකක් අලුතෙන් දෙනවා නම් ඔයා product එක දන්නේ නැති කට්ටිය ගොඩක් ඉන්නවා. මම කියවනේ awareness raise කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා. Because දන්නේ නැහැ. Most of the people are strangers. Then they come to the next stage, which becomes the prospects. අර consider කරන්නේ ඒක ගන්නවද නැත්නම් වෙන එකක් ගන්නවද? The prospects. Strangers convert into prospects. The stranger කෙනෙක්ට වඩා කරන්න ඕනේ මේ campaign එක වෙනස්. Prospect කෙනෙක්ට කරන්න ඕනේ campaign එක වෙනස්. Then they become your customers. Right? ඔන්න කේක් එක ගැන bakery ගැන දන්නේ නැහැ, cake item එක ගැන දන්නේ නැහැ. Then you feel like prospects. Now you buy it, you become a customer. Then the last part is you become a promoter. Where again Shapatta cakes, right? Maralabai and Maralai. Definitely you also go and buy from them. Then what? That person becomes a promoter. Right? So keep this thing in your mind. Every person, don't let that customer go. Customer right? Try to get the best from him. What a put a discount next time. So he will be a repetitive customer. Investment marketing right? Man can have more than 10%. You can determine depending on your strategy, but understand this context. What, right? It's not really easy, right? To attract strangers, right? So the most important part, it's not really easy to attract strangers. Next one is prospects. It's slightly easy rather than converting them, right? To keep them in the funnel, right? Engage right? Social media posts or engagements right? Giveaways. In Daraz also, there are 2 set of people, customers. One set of customers, we call them as the bottom funnel customers who repetitively purchase from Daraz, right? E-commerce platform, so there are people who repetitively purchase. Market purchase. They are what? They are the promoters and the customers. And in the other part of the segment is that we have people who are come to buy from Daraz when there is only a campaign happening. In Daraz also, you have seen there we have 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, 12, our say, right, the Black Friday sales and all these things, right? Different campaigns there. Samar set they only come during a campaign. Hey, a discount, right? So they only come during the discount and claim that discount and buy it. So a prospect funnel. So that's why even Daraz gives so much of discounts and do campaigns because they want to keep these people engaged. By any chance, next financial year, Daraz won't give discounts. what happened? People are not going to come and buy. So because Daraz is an e-commerce platform and it is still in the startup page. A company got a growing stage. So all of the startups growing stage. While the customer line right? You have to be very humble to customers. Price negotiation, we might be able to do that. Because most of the people in your business, in our business, most of the business is either strangers or as prospects. And Coca-Cola customers are pretty much in the customer and promoter level. Yala komat happy. Wala market karat nata Coca-Cola komat kila ganna. But what? As a startup owner, as a business owner, right? A budding entrepreneur, keep this thing in your mind. The hardest part is to convert stranger into a customer, not a promoter into a customer. Ekinda amaru part එක තමයි ඒක stranger prospects කියන එක identify කරගන්න. එයාලව engage කරලා තියාගන්න. දැන් අපි social media marketing කරනවා නම් digital media වල market කරනවා නම් content එක පුළුවන් තරම් frequently දාන්න. දැන් YouTube channel එකක් කරනවා නම් කෙනෙක් YouTube channel එකේ content එක අපි කියනවා එක frequency එකකට දාගෙන යන්න. week එකට එකයි නම් ඊළඟ week එකෙත් එකක් දාන්න. ඊළඟ week එකෙත් එකක් දාන්න. That's how you generate your customer base. Right? I do also have a YouTube channel, right? Which I'm doing part-time. Then I'm not, but I used to do it a lot. So the same thing. While a Facebook page maintain kanona, content at least weekly dana. Right? At least weekly dana. Because this is the flywheel that you need to understand. By the way, we have time. Right, cool. So let me walk you through a couple of important things which you can really play around if you are to attract customers, right? Attract strangers have attract what you can do. You can have a blog, right? Omnico marketing, right? Omnico marketing, right? Omnico channel, right? So the famous case study is there's an Indian company called Nykaa. Right? Nykaa is a makeup company, makeup and health and beauty care company, e-commerce platform. So in Sri Lanka, in India, you have Amazon, you have Flipkart, you have Geo Retail, you have DMart, and all these e-commerce brands popping up. So Nykaa was a company, right, which was focused only on makeup stuff. Right? Majority of here girls, right? All makeup online and you take it. So what they did was like this Nykaa, this company, to attract more people, they invest heavily on customer education. Common educate karane. Educate karna kerana me Nykaa ken badu ganne kohomada kiyala nemei. They try to educate customers through what? How to pick your makeup brand depending on your complexion. Right? Alex channel එක යාලා blogs ලියනවා. Right? යාලා YouTube videos කරනවා. Influencers කියලා කියලා දෙනවා. කොහොමද makeup brand එක select කරන්නේ. වෙනම තියෙනවා Nykaa වලින් වෙනම යාලා හදලා තියෙනවා makeup එකක් select කරන checklist එකක්. පොඩි portfolio එකක්. ඒක step by step ගියාම අන්තිමට වාට select කරන්න පුළුවන් what is the best suited makeup or as a health care product depending on your customization. ඒක හරිම ලේසි. So the same thing is an easiest way to attract a new person. ඔයාලා හිතන්න මොකක් හරි business එකක් කරනවා නම් අපි again හිතමු cake business එක පාට පුළුවන් පොඩි website එකක් open කරන්න. අද කාලේ නම් website එකක් open කරන්න අමාරු නෑ. Go to WordPress, go to Wix, you can create that for free. ඒකට ඔයාලා පොඩි blog එකක් ලියන්න පුළුවන්. කොහොමද ලියන්නේ? How to identify. නැත්නම් ඔයාලා පුළුවන් cake recipe එක ගැන දාන්න. දැන් නැත්නම් YouTube channel එකක් පටන් ගන්නවා. අපේ අම්මා, අපේ නන්දා වගේ මොකක් හරි YouTube channel එකක් පටන් ගන්නවා. How to make your cakes. Right? Easy ways to make your cakes. මොකක් හරි පොඩි video එකක් දාන්න පුළුවන්. Blogs open කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? නැත්නම් පුළුවන් ඔයාලට දාන්න how to be sugar free. How to make cakes without sugar. I'm not pretty sure whether it's possible, but if possible, do it like that way. Then SEO karana pula. What do you mean by SEO? It's a very deep technique. One of the most common ways that you could use. SEO කියන්නේ the search engine optimization. Again, when Google when you search like cakes, you want your product to come at first. Because Google you know, right? You have multiple sub pages that open up. People hardly go and buy it. So again, try to have SEO. SEO karana dane naththam it's little bit technical. You can go to channels like YouTube also you can find. Then Coursera ke courses thena, Udemy ke courses thena. Right? Just try to understand how you do SEO. It's little technical, but maybe in a different segment that we can discuss these things. Then social publishing, social media වල දාන්න, paid search results කරන්න, ads කරන්න පුළුවන්, right? SEM කියන part එකක් තියෙනවා and display advertising කරන්න පුළුවන්. So do ගොඩක් දේවල්, right? මම කියන්නේ සල්ලිම යට කරන්න කියලා හැමදේටම, but try to do different things. So one part would be the missing piece in your puzzle. එකක් හරියට හරිය ගමන් ඒක තමයි වට හරියන්නේ, right? සමහර products තියෙනවා. දැන් simple example Yamu, right? Yamu කියන website එක is typically a blog, right? And it attracts so much of revenue. කොහොමද sponsorships ගන්නවා ගොඩාක් brands වලින්. යාලා Yamu කියන site එක yamu.lk එකේ, right? යාලා articles ලියනවා. It's a blog, right? How simply this Uber Pick Me came into power, right? Uber Pick Me ආවේ කොහොමද? Simply through what? Simply through Facebook. How Daraz grows simply through Facebook, right? But there are ample of businesses. How Newswire, you know Newswire, right? So Newswire website, right? A website is growing from it's simply to Twitter, right? So ගොඩාක් දේවල් තියෙනවා that you can first as a startup business එකක් ඉන්න හින්දා nothing to lose. හැම channel එකම use කරලා බලන්න. One channel would work, right? Then attract and engage මං කිව්වා user generated content දාන්න, user experience එක share කරන්න කියන්න, email marketing කරන්න, දැන් පුළුවන් social media boosted ad එකක් දෙන්න. Ad එකේදී තමයි we have different things like objective එක identify කරගන්න, whether I want to reach awareness, whether I want to reach more traffic into my website, whether I want to get more communications or else more messages, more leads. ඒ ඔක්කොම කතා කරගන්න පුළුවන් in engagement way. Then delight, last part, customer කෙනෙක් ගත්තට පස්සේ මම කිව්වා නිකන් යන්න දෙන්න එපා. Make him happy, right? Give him additional more in the next purchase. Definitely he would be a next customer for the lifetime, right? ඔය ටික use කරන්න, which would help you to identify what is the best way to move forward. Hari? Okay, so I guess we are almost at the down the part of the entire thing, right? Now my last thing, just before the last thing, is what you really want to do. දැන් ඔක්කොම දන්නවා, හරි ටෙක්නිකල් ඔක්කොම දන්නවා මම මොනවද කරන්න ඕනේ, මොනවද තියෙන්නේ කියලා අපි දන්නවා. දැන් මොනවද ඇත්තටම කරන්න ඕනේ? What do we really want to do? First thing, understand what is your industry, right? අපි හැම වෙලෙම කියනවා තැනේ හැටියට ඇනේ. Understand the industry where you are. Whether you play into an FMCG, fast moving consumer good එකක් විකුණන්නේ. Electronic item එකක්. Electronic items අනෝනේ ටිකක් පොඩ්ඩක් price එක පොඩ්ඩක් වැඩි හැමෝම ගන්නෙ නැහැ. Fashion item එකක්ද? ගොඩක් අපි කියනවා trendy එකක්ද? නැත්නම් lifestyle item එකක්ද? Maybe like treadmill එකක් විකුණන්නේ. නැත්නම් digital product එකක්ද? Digital product එකක් කියන්නේ තමයි like maybe like a Vegas card or else gift card or something like that. Or else you are doing a service, right? Tuition classes, lecturing, then maybe even digital media marketing agency. Those are services, right? Then the next one, understand my goal. Objective and goal. My goal is to reach awareness. Awareness reach කරන්නද? නැත්නම් more messages ගන්නද? More leads ගන්නද? First understand my goal. Then identify who really is going to be my prospective customers. අපි මේකට කියනවා target group එක. TG එක මොකක්ද ඔයාගේ? කොච්චර age level එකේ කට්ටියද ඔයාගේ products ගන්නෙ? දැන් හිතන්නකෝ cake එකක්, sugar තියෙන cake එකක්, right? 50 වලින් උඩ කට්ටිය I don't think people would buy. Right? Because most of the people in Sri Lanka have diabetes and also they might not buy. But if you make a sugar-free cake, then they would be your target audience. Identify your target audience and identify their persona. මොන වගේ income level එකක්ද යාලා ඉන්නේ? කොයි වගේ geographic locations වලද යාලා ඉන්නේ? ඒකත් identify කරගන්න. The next one is do a brand health check. මගේ brand එක කොච්චරද දෙන්නේ දන්නවද? මට කොච්චර competition ඉන්නවද? ඒකත් identify කරගන්න. Then identify කරන්න what is the best channel. Best channel එක identify කරන්න ඇත්තටම අමාරු. It's really hard. But what you can do is as a startup business, invest in all of these channels at once. Invest කියන්නේ මං කියන්නේ money නෙමෙයි, content wise, right? Blog එකක් දාන්න, web එකක් දාලා බලන්න, Facebook post දාන්න, Instagram post දාන්න, Instagram story දාන්න, TikTok videos කරලා බලන්න, right? You will understand what channels work best for you. Then the last one is at the magic source. Then we are good to go. Now the last part, what is your magic source, right? What is your magic source? So the last part of the entire discussion, let's add the magic source at last, right? So you can complete this sentence, right? C is the king, right? So I would love to see a simple wording, right? මේක මම හිතන්නේ හැමෝම දකින්න දෙයක්, දැකලා ඇති දෙයක්, දන්න දෙයක්. මට කියන්න what is the blank? What is C in here? Right? Which is the king? Okay, we are getting right. We are getting answers. Yes. What is the C in here? Consistency. Customers. Customer is the king. මම හිතන්නේ ඒක නම් ගොඩක් අය අහලා ඇති. Customer is the king. Consistency also is, yes, is also good. To be honest, right, the most important part, the magic source, if you really want to increase your sales in your conversions, is nothing other than your content, your content, right? So content is the king in the digital media world, right? Digital media, right? Content is the king, right? Content, right? Content is the most important thing. There is nothing else other than content, right? Try to understand content is the king. ඔයා මොනවද දාන්නේ කියන එක තමයි most important. ඒ දානවා කියන එක, right? Social media post කරනවා කියන එක is not about the quality of the content, right? Or it's not about the high definition. No, it's simply about the relativeness, right? The relatedness. ඔයාගේ audience එකට කොච්චර එක related ද කියන එක තමයි most important part. There are ample of ways, right? Or YouTube even there are people who might not have these 4K cameras, full setup, right? But they might have done shootout from their mobile phone, but it's highly related. Audience relate with a product video quality sometimes people might engage. When you come to social media, Facebook viral videos, right? Viral videos. Product viral videos are not like me full 4K cameras, HD cameras, full studio record karla yane right? Me nikan ko hari randomly gatta folding and moking hari gatta එක තමයි යන්නේ. I'll tell you a simple example. Maybe also my the University of Colombo, right? University of Colombo's the graduates the behavior, it goes viral, right? People share it, right? But it's simply a screen recording, right? Or like share වෙන්නේ මොකද අර FOS එයාලගේ media channel එකෙන් කරපු screen record එක Facebook live එකේ part එකක් තමයි which goes viral. ඒක එහෙම blur වෙලා තියෙන එහෙම ලොකුට පේන්නෙත් නැහැ. blur වෙච්ච එකක් තියෙන but it goes viral because content is highly related. නැතු මේ කනෙක් කෙනෙක් අරන් ගිහලා 4K කැමරාවක් දාලා වෙනම ඒක කැල්ල crop කරලා අරගෙන එහෙම share කරලා නැහැ. So if you are a business, as a startup business, if you want to do, content is the key. But content does not mean that it have to be high quality. It have to be high relatedness. Because as we are a startup business, most of the people, right, awareness and reach is the most important part. And to raise awareness and to raise reach as much as possible, content plays a pivotal role, right? It is one of the vital things that you really could do, and try to connect your users with your content with relatedness. පුළුවන් තරම් යාලා කැමති දේවල් දාන්න. ඔයාලා කේක් බිස්නස් එකක් කරනවා නම්, right? කේක් එකට දාන්න ඕන කවුද? right? මොනවාද? ගොඩක් කේක් වලට කැමති කට්ටිය. කේක් ගැන ෆොටෝස්, right? කේක් එකක් හදන්නේ කොහොමද? කේක් එකෙන් හම්බෙන health nutritions මොනවාද? right? ඒ වගේ content එක දාන්න. It might be video content, it might be written content, it might be an audio content, right? Audio contents for WhatsApp voice recordings, Ranjan Ramanayake content, right? Voice recordings, right? So many things might go viral, many things might get people get engaged, but try different channels, try different piece of contents, and then understand what really worked. Because the digital media, you really can understand what really worked and what really do not work, right? But in offline media, in digital, in traditional orthodox media, you can't understand which channel works best. මොන පැත්තට බිල්බෝඩ් එකට වැඩ කරේ කියලා හොයන්න බෑ. මොන පැත්තට ගහපු පෝස්ට් එකට වැඩ කරේ කියලා හොයන්න බෑ. But in digital media, you can understand that. So the final note, the magic source in digital marketing is content, right? Focus on your content and your channel. කොහෙද දාන්නේ කියන එකයි මොනවද දාන්නේ කියන එකයි. ඒකේ quality එකවත් ඒක කවුද හැදුවේ කියන එකවත් නෙමෙයි. Right? So that is the final word I would want to mention. මම wrap up කරන්න the most important things we discussed. First thing, digital media marketing is the best way to hack your growth in your company. Second thing, right? When you focus on growth hacking, first understand the user journey. Customer කෙනෙක් එකපාර වෙන product එකක් ගන්නෙ නෑ, it won't happen, right? So understand the customer funnel. Third one, as a startup business, you need to give more effort on raising awareness to your target group. Fourth thing is, right, before doing anything, focus on your content and the channels where you put. ඔය හතර හරියට කරොත්, right, it's very easy for you to win the business, right? Ad budget එකවත් වෙන කිසිම දෙයක් impact වෙන්නේ නැහැ. And final word, my හැමෝටම කියනවා, don't let your customer to go අත් දෙක වනවන, right? Always keep them delighted and ask them to promote word of mouth. That's one of the easiest way to get more sales, right? So these are the 5 main things that you can take home today and just customize accordingly to your business, right? And it will help you to drive more sales, more conversions, more revenue for your business, right? Digital media marketing is the growth hacker, customer funnel, then awareness, content, and last part is word of mouth. Keep your customers delighted and they would be the repetitive customers for your business, right? Hari, I guess pretty much we are done, but I just want to open the platform for a couple of questions if you have anything. Okay, we have a couple of questions so far, but if you have any other questions also, you can put it in here. Right, okay, we have a very valid question, right? I'll read the question loud and then we'll try to find an answer for that, right? So when we make a product or service, in some instances, we will get so much of negative comments in the social media itself. How to get rid of that, right? I personally experience this a lot, right? Where the workplace which I work, right? For Daraz also, we get so much of negative comments, right? So in your business also, you get negative comments, right? We can't make everyone happy every day, no, right? Right? Some people might get negative comments. So the easiest way to tackle this, first thing is, sometimes these negative comments might be constructive criticisms for you. Then a product එක සවුත්තු යතරම, right? Product එක සවුත්තු වුණාම people say, look, this product is shit, right? දැන් එහෙම කොහොම කියන්න බෑ, අන්න එයාලා අපිට negative comments දෙනවා කියලා. Understand, right? This might be a constructive criticism. එහෙමනම් try to create your product into different scale. Product එක හදන්න බලන්න, අලුත් කරන්න බලන්න, and then try to uplift the product and make it so that you in the next phase you don't get these comments. Second thing is, හිතන්න ඔය product එකක් සුපිරි. But they try to use all these negative comments due to තරහවකට, right? Then ඒකෙත් ළමයි, what I have noticed is one part is custom education. Then in Daraz also, what I'm explaining Daraz because I really use these things day to day. Then we get so much of negative comments asking people, look here, Daraz have done a major crap. But then we try to encourage customer education and tell them, look here, Daraz is just a platform. We don't earn any products. We don't own any products. මේ products එකක්වත් අපේ නෙමෙයි. මේ products එක එක individual seller අපේ නෙමෙයි. But what we do is we just facilitate it. එතන අපි මොකද customer ට කියන්නේ product එකක් ගන්න කලින් හොඳට check කරන්න, reviews බලන්න, ඒ customer genuine ද කියලා බලන්න. Right? Product එකේ pricing compare කරන්න. ගොඩක් අය අපේ මිනිස්සු නිකන් discount එකක් තිබ්බ ගමන් හරි low audience එකක් අපේ ඉන්නේ discount එකක් තිබ්බ ගමන් ගිහලා බලනවා product එකේ quality එක check කරන්න. So we try to raise education. So in your product, if your product is much complex and if you feel like මෙයා වැරදිට use කරලා මේක කියලා, then try to raise awareness, try to create education. And the last one is ඔයාගේ product එකත් හොඳයි, හරියට use උත් කරලා, හැබැයි වත් එක තියෙන personal grudge එකකට එයාලා එහෙම comment කරනවා නම්, one simple thing that you can do is excuses කියන්නේ අනේක I don't think makes sense, right? What you can do is politely respond to that comments. ඒවා දැක්කම දැක්කේ නෑ වගේ ඉන්න එපා, right? Politely respond to that comments, right? Trying to showcase either that they have misused it or else either they have වැරදිට use කරලා or else that you have accepted it for further reviews. The best example is most of the time, right? The products, right? Most of the time the products, ගොඩක් අලුතෙන් එන products තමයි එකපාර success වෙන්නේ නැහැ, right? යාලා දැම්මම එයාලා product එකේ වැරද්දක් තිබ්බා මෙයාලට identify කරගන්න social media වලින්. People comment කරනවා මේ product එකේ මේ defect එක තිබ්බා මේ වැරද්ද තිබ්බා කියලා. Politely respond to it. අවදාක හිතන්න එපා negative comments කියන්නේ is bad for you කියලා. Negative comments might not bad for you but would be bad for you if you do not respond to them. Or respond කරේ නැත්නම් right අන්න වැරදි. එතකොට පිටින් කෙනෙක් ඇවිල්ලා බලපුවම they might feel like okay මෙයාලා ඇත්තටම වැරද්දක් කරලා that's why they are not answering anything. But you can politely respond to them, right? And safe zone එකේ ඉන්න. ඔයාව guard කරගන්න. ඔයාට කියන්න පුළුවන්. Hi sir, hi madam. Thank you for your comment. We are taking this into consideration. But this might have happened. Just give a try and see. You get the point? Right? හිතන්න product එක වැරදිට use කරනවා. Hi sir, hi madam. We have got your consideration. Thank you for commenting. We have got your consideration into account. But try these approaches and this might work. Right? අන්න ඒ වගේ පොඩි word එකක් දෙන්න පුළුවන්. නැත්නම් you can tell one of our teammates might reach you out. අර ඒ වගේ දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒතර කෙනෙක් කස්ටමර් කෙනෙක් එළියෙන් එන කෙනෙක් දැක්කම හිතනවා මෙයාලා personally මේ කතා කරන් විසඳගෙන ඇති. You get the point. So ඒ වගේ පොඩි දේවල් කරන්න පුළුවන්. But if it's a negative comment, my secret sauce is what? Don't let it be. නිකන් ඔක ඔහේ තියන්න එපා. Right? Go and respond to it. හැබැයි එහෙමයි කියලා කස්ටමර්ත් එක්ක අරගන්න යන්න එපා. පිස්සු දෝයි තමස කොහොමද ඕම කියන්නේ? This is a nice product. Don't do like that. Right? Right? එහෙම කරන්න එපා. Always be polite and be humble. Sometimes what he tell might be right. Right? ඒක හරියන්නත් පුළුවන්. Don't always think මම තමයි හරි මේක කරනවා කියලා all the time. Right? So I guess that would be helpful for us to have more consistency and more respect from our audience. Any other questions by any chance?
May I ask one?
Sorry?
May I ask a question?
Yes, go on.
Is it possible to only use digital marketing when we are doing business, right? Since digital marketing is the main concern, but still, can we use traditional marketing concepts? And are there any instances where traditional marketing concepts would work more than digital marketing?
Right, cool. Very nice question, right? So talking point on this traditional marketing and digital marketing, right? So I personally believe, even I have seen most of the experts in digital marketing also say this. Right? I personally believe getting your first customer from digital marketing is not really going to work because it's really hard, right? කවුරුත් දන්නේ නැහැ මුකුත් දන්නේ නැතුව එකපාරට digital marketing ad එකක් දැක්ක කියලා කෙනෙක් ඇවිල්ලා ගන්න. So first customer might come from offline. Offline කියන්නේ මං කියන්නේ billboards ගාලා posters ගාලා නෙමෙයි. Might be through an word of mouth, might be through a recommendation. So I always firmly believe, right? Digital marketing, right? Have in Sri Lanka specifically have a cap that we can go. Now, I'll tell you a simple example in Sri Lankan context with Daraz again. So in Sri Lanka, we have around 8 million population with smartphones, right? 8 million populations in our smartphones. And in Daraz, the monthly active users, month ekakata Daraz app එක හරි web එක හරි at least log වෙලා use කරන කට්ටිය around 7 million ඉන්නවා. Right? ඒ කියන්නේ මාස එකට at least එකපාරක් හරි 7 million ඔය හරි use කරලා තියෙනවා. So what we identified was we have reached, because we heavily invest on digital, right? We do not that much invest on offline. We heavily invest on digital. We understood what we grow, and we come into a stagnated position. We only relying on digital. Now the point and the part where we have to go into offline other channels also. TV. Now what that the Daraz ads go back 10, 11, 12, Daraz ads go back. Why? Now we have identified, look here, offline also come into play. Right? So if you ask a simple answer, can we rely on digital only? I would say it's not 100% accurate that we rely on digital only. But if you're a startup business, you can start slow with digital. But offline at the vedama ready. TV ad ekak දාන එකත් it's going to be really costly. Newspaper ads might not really work depending on your product. Right? And posters it's really costly. But digital is cost effective. Again, right? If you feel like, right, if you have budgets, right, if you have people to play around, try to go this hybrid channel. Hybrid channel, but offline part take online part take channel. Understand this context. When your business grows, you would understand, right? Sometimes offline works much better than digital. There are more businesses in Sri Lanka. What they do is they use digital media not to drive sales, but to create brand equity. Like branding brand create කරන්න තමයි යාළුවෝ digital media use කරන්නේ. යාළුවෝ offline channels තමයි use කරන්න ගොඩක් යාළුවෝ මොකටද? Sales generate කරන්න. one simple example එකක් කරන්න කියන්නේ the tuition industry. Right? The tuition industry still use heavily dependent on offline channels, TV ads and posters. Right? But they use the digital arena to what? To showcase to wide audience. Right? Wide audience can reach current digital use karna. So if you are a business, right? As a startup business, I would say invest on digital, right? Invest on digital, but keep this thing in your mind. Getting the first customer, right? Might not happen only on digital. Try karanna network use karanna. That is marketing, right? Try to use a network. Get the first customer through network, and then upsell this customer's experience through digital for a wide audience. මොකද digital තමයි cost effective. ඊට පස්සේ business එක grow කරන් එක level එකක් ආවට පස්සේ then determine, do I need offline? If you have money, then you can shift into offline. But until you get this entire thing sorted, invest on digital, because it is the easiest way and the most convenient way to get things sorted. Right? Understood? I guess I answered the question. Simple. Digital is the most convenient and most economical way, but there is a cap that you can go depending on the mobile penetration in Sri Lanka.
Thank you, Mr. Sanira.
Any other questions?
We can allow another minute or two for questions as we have arrived to the time as well. If you have any questions, you can direct to Mr. Sanira through the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask.
Nowadays, is it worth to spend money and market through newspapers? Again, I would say investing on newspapers depending on your target group. Right? ඔයාලට නිකන් tap කරන්න ඕනේ ටිකක් high end මතනේ like ටිකක් matured audience එකක් ගන්න. Right? A matured audience එකක් ගන්න. Then simply what the matured කට්ටිය න use කරන්න ඕන. එතකොට might be newspapers might work because එතන නිකන් 40s 50s වල කට්ටිය න right newspapers might work, but ටිකක් young generation Z side එකේ people if you want to tap, then I don't think newspapers might work because we hardly use newspapers. But instead of that, you can use what news channels, right? In news channels like Newswire and Hero News and all these things, එයාලගේ තියෙන banner spaces. ඔයාලා දැකලාදී මොකක්ද දැක්කට පස්සේ එයාලගේ news channel එකට ගියාම පැත්තෙන් pop up වෙනවා banner spaces. Right? Banner spaces might can use as a mix, right? ඔයාලා පුළුවන් ඒක සල්ලි දීලා ගන්න එයාලගේ. හැබැයි චුට්ටක් costly, but you can use them. And even Google ads, right? Google ads වලත් ඔයාලා පුළුවන් paste කරන්න මට ඕනේ මගේ ad එක ගිහලා Newswire එකේ place කරන්න කොහම එයාලා paste කරලා දෙනවා. That's also a way. But news channel specifically, newspaper specifically, ඒක ටිකක් හරි අඩුයි. Now it's mostly going trending in Sri Lanka. Right? Are we to close down and wrap up the stuff?
Yeah, we can. Are there any questions directed to you anymore?
No, done for the day.
All right. I think with that we can wind up today's session.
Right.
Yes.
A final note, right? For as there are most of the people are young. A final note from me, and then I'll hand over the part to the MC. So, final note is thank you for inviting me in here, and love to see young people coming on this kind of an understanding. Right? Mandaka Jumpstart the workshop goes continuously. I hope majority of might have joined for the rest remainders also, and joined for the next also. And love to see this startup and enterprise entrepreneurial culture budding from young buds like you. And it's really important. And in terms of digital, the final thought is whether you are a tech savvy guy or else whether you are an offline guy, right? Just understand these key basics, specifically in terms of digital marketing and in terms of marketing, because one day for a fact, digital marketing entire arena are going to take over the offline channels. And then when you grow up, maybe like around 30s, digital would work a lot. So just have this understanding, and this will make your life much easier in future and even in your future prospects. Right? So thank you from my end. And if you have any questions, you can connect me through LinkedIn and even through other social media channels also. And feel free to help you out at any cost. And thank you, Rotaract and Sasneka, for inviting me. And over to you, the MC. Take it over.
All right. With that, we can end up today's session. Also, I would like to take a moment and give a special shout out to Mr. Sanira Waas, who joined us amidst your busy schedule for making time for us to educate us on, rather than on a technical aspect, on more of a practical aspect on digital marketing. I think this session was really interesting today to hear. There were a lot of things that I personally learned, that a lot of tactics that people use nowadays, which I was not aware of, that they were on a marketing uh, they were a marketing strategy. So thank you so much for educating us. It's we are really honored to being educated and aware by people like you as potential entrepreneurs and potential as young people who are about to step into the corporate society. So once again, thank you very much for joining with us today. And also special thanks goes out to our knowledge partner, Sustainable Transfer Foundation, for connecting us with valuable resource personnel. Also, a small announcement that I have to make. Pitch It Minute competition round is open to all of you. If you have a business idea, if you're an ideator or in charge of an early stage startup, this is the best chance for you to validate your business ideas through us. So don't forget to register for Pitch It Minute, where you can participate and win exciting prizes and a lot of mentorship and a lot of other opportunities. And also to learn more, visit our blog. All the links are given in the chat box. Another special announcement where we have to make regarding further workshops. So there has been a small change of dates in the workshops. So the workshop on the 27th is moved to 28th, and workshop on the 28th is moved to the 30th of December. We will notify you further regarding that as well via email and WhatsApp. And also encouraging you all to join those workshops as well. So we are here at the end of the 5th workshop of Jumpstart 2021. So we are going to take a break for Christmas, and we will meet you again next week on the 28th. So until then, have a great week, have a great weekend, have a great Christmas, and also stay safe. Good night.